towards the end of the match, where, like we said, you've been feeding maggots out of the hand from 2.5 hours in. It's now's the time you can go on it and have a look. And sometimes you can have an absolutely brilliant end to the match where you can double your weight easily. What I'll do now is quickly run you through the rigs, because I can't wait to get and have a look. So what we've got is we've gone back now to the dark green, just that little bit stronger, but still it's a little bit softer than the pink, say, so that when you hook a fish it still swims out the peg, doesn't disturb the fish, so when you can go in and get another one. So we've got the dark green. This time we've got an FM4 in a 0.3, which is short float, carbon stem. There's a reason for the carbon stem, which I'll come on to now. Got a 016 mainline again. This is why we had the carbon stem. We've got a strung out shotting pattern of number 10s in the bottom 1.5 to 2 foot of the rig. 6-inch hook length of 012, a little bit stronger this time because hopefully you're bagging by now. And again, an 18 0814 hook. So with that in mind, there's a couple of little factors you need to consider when you are feeding maggots by hand. It does tend to encourage fish, if you're fishing in deeper water, to come off the bottom. So if it's a little bit warmer, which it isn't today, you could set up a shallow rig, but this time of year, with it being so cold, you're trying to keep the fish on the bottom, which is why I was saying feed 2 lots of 10. You still get the noise and you still get the bait falling through, but it just concentrates those fish on the bottom. So I can't wait to have a look. Let's see if we can catch one. Right, so it's time to go and see if we can catch them on the maggot line. The ducks will kindly move out of the way. We can start off with double red maggot, hook top and tail, something I've always done. It seems to get the better stamp fish as well. So let's just shoo these ducks out of the way. What is important with that strung out rig, the strung out shotting, sorry, is to lay your rig in. So what it does, it allows you just to fall naturally, like the loose fed maggots that you've fed. And the float just settles. Hopefully it won't be long before we get a bite. Bite instantly there. You can sometimes get problems with missed bites and foul looking fish when you are loose feeding like this, but more often than not, once you get into a rhythm of catching on it, you sort of stop. They kind of go away. You get the odd one, but most of the time you're hooking fish. What I won't do is, while I'm feeding it, and there we go, straight away. Once I've hooked a fish, let it swim out the peg, feed some maggots, and then just play the fish in. The beauty of having that light green elastic is it allows you to hook the fish, allow it to swim at the peg, and whilst doing that you can feed. There we go, lovely big F1. That's the sort of stamp you want. Those are the sort of fish, you can catch them in the last hour. Won't take you long to put a huge weight together. Lovely fish. What I'll do now is just feed a few maggots. Most of them are going to get eaten by the ducks, but still, some will find their way to the bottom. Again, top and tail double red maggot, and we go back again. It's all about trying to get yourself into a rhythm now. Just lay that rig in nice. Try and keep your line as tight as you can to your float. And as it settles, What I don't like to do is feed whilst my rig's in the water, because it is a recipe for disaster. If you're feeding on top of your rig, fish come up in all different layers and you get liners, missed bites, and in turn, again, foul hooked fish. So what I like to do is feed before I go out or once I've hooked a fish. Very rarely will I feed on top of my on top of my float, so it be. Just let the rig settle over the area you fed, and there we go, straight away. And again, feed some maggots, lay your fish in. Another nice F1. Lovely. Nice. And now it's just a case of going through the motions again. Same as when you catch on any other line. You go out, you just get into a rhythm of trying to catch the fish, feed, and so on. So, same again. Double red maggot. Nice visual with feeding singles, or I say singles, with single bait landing on the bottom. A visual, slightly bigger bait, being a double maggot, sometimes, or often, does get you a much quicker bite. So what we'll do is just hold the rig tight, let it settle. And sometimes, when it's really good on a red letter day, you can have up to 50 pounds in the last hour, as you can see from the stamp of fish that you're catching. Soon put a weight together. But this is also why it's really important to feed it from the middle part of the match, whereas I don't feel it's right leaving it until the last hour to feed it. Lots of fish there now. Again, just lay your rig in. Let it all fall. Try it a different way. This is where those nice light droppers again aid that real natural fall. Indication straight away. Tend not to lift and drop the rig on this line too much. I much prefer to lift the rig totally out and drop it back in. Reason for this is when you're loose feeding, the fish are already they're looking up, and then they don't tend to be looking in that bottom 4 inches. They're following your rig down and snatching it right as it gets to the bottom. There we go. There's another one. Feed some maggots again, allowing that light elastic to let the fish swim straight up the peg, but yet you've got enough backbone in the elastic to control the fish. Another nice F1. Perfect. We'll try again. Feed some now while we just put some hook baits on. It's interesting how the ducks don't seem to spook the fish whatsoever, as you think they would, but I think the fish just become used to it. Let that rig in. Nice slow fall, mimicking the loose feed. And hopefully it won't be too long before we get another bite. Lift the rig out, drop it back in again. Go through the motions. As you can see, this is a fantastic way to finish off a session, whether it be pleasure fishing or during a match. You can really boost your weight. Ooh, just like that. Lovely. Play it back a bit, feed some maggots. Just take your time. Another lovely F1. Beautiful. Lovely fish. Real nice fish. Real nice fish. Let's see if we can get another. It's the right sort of time now with the light starting to drop as well, which is usually towards the latter stage of the match. See if we can get another. Same as before, lay your rig in. Keep a nice tightish line to the float. I missed my straight away. I think it's much better to lay your rig in like this than to lay it in a heap down the middle, because I don't think it attracts the fish quite the same as it does with that slow natural arc through the water columns. Plus, by doing it like that, it reduces the risk of tangles. And there's another. Plenty of fish there now. Feed again. Bit smaller this time, but still a lovely fish all the same. Beautiful fish. So there we have it. That's how I approach venues like Tunnel Barn in the winter. Just to go run through, so we've started on the dobbin line. Like we said, there's two ways of starting. You either start short by feeding if it's warm enough, or like has been saying, freezing cold, gone over the bread, and we've had a few fish. Secondly, we've gone in the middle part of the match where you want to keep plugging fish away and catching odd fish, just keeping up with whoever else is around you in that deeper water, feeding pellets. You know, we've caught well today. I suppose we are pleasure fishing, but still, you still get the picture of how it works. And finally, that last hour where you can really make the most of it when they're there. maggots out the hand is a brilliant way of fishing. I really enjoy it, and I know there's a lot of lads that fish the venue that they enjoy it as well. It's a brilliant way of catching fish. So on that note, let's have a look at what we've caught. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. See you again soon.